Doors closed.
We're locked in.
Oh,
How you doing, Dan?
all right, mate. You?
Yeah, really good.
Yeah, man.
Really
We're
good,
back
man.
on a Wednesday. This is
I
going to mess my
know.
head.
This happened when we had John Slinger in, right?
did,
we came
yeah.
in on a what day did we go? Friday. It was a
Did it
Friday.
Friday.
That messed me up.
Yeah.
Good and proper.
Yeah, it messes my routine up.
It does.
Yeah.
But it's
we're
okay.
here. We're here.
We're here. We're breathing.
Just about.
We're locked in. Episode
61.
1.
Yes.
61.
61, man.
61.
Wow, you've done
Yeah.
a lot more of these than I thought. Wow.
Yeah.
That's all. That's all these guys. I came in quite late. I was
Yeah,
you've only
I was
done one,
controversial one. I just like rocked up, didn't I?
Yeah, he came in, threw other people out, and that was it.
I just had that kind of presence. What was it? The Vish effect,
The
right?
Vish effect. Yeah, he's our new creative director.
I literally adopted that title. Then I just came in, didn't it?
Just come out with all these ideas, so it was like, yeah, that'll do.
It works.
It does work.
It works, and
been
it's
good.
fun.
Yeah,
And you know what? The thing is, we're getting people to listen, and I think that's the important thing.
we are.
And
We are.
it's Christmas in a couple of weeks. And
Is it?
It is.
Who said?
Oh, God, it is.
I think Santa, or was it Jesus? One of them.
Yeah.
Then
Baby
Jesus
Jesus.
comes down and
Baby Jesus' birthday.
Well, he doesn't come down.
Baby Jesus' birthday. I'm just I'm chewing my phone's off, mate, because I just realised it's still in my pocket.
Oh, that reminds me. Is mine on silent because it will ring.
Guaranteed it'll go
Mine's
off.
always on
Mine
silent.
will ring.
I'm one of those people that lives on Do Not Disturb. So
Yeah. See, I can't. When you're self-employed, you depend on your phone
Yeah.
in every which way possible.
Yeah.
But anyway, we got this random guy sat next to
Yeah,
us.
there's a strange
am
voice
I?
we should introduce.
Yeah. Man in the middle. This is Tom.
hello.
Tom, do you want to... So I met Tom in a real random way.
Yeah, I've not heard this story yet. So yeah,
Okay, so I'm going to let Tom explain this one because it was very random, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
it was. So just from the start, So Harrison, one of the other people we had on the podcast.
Yeah, good friend of mine.
Yeah, me and him are in the same media class in university. So one day we were just chatting about it. I see kind of the things he posts of you and the podcast and all sorts of stuff.
See, it's the Vish effect.
It's the Vish effect.
It is a
It's
Vish
more of
effect.
the Vish
Yeah, yeah.
effect.
I'll take that.
And I'm a local photographer. I should have put my business cards and shoved them in front of the camera.
We'll tag you in the.
We'll
tag
edit it
you.
out.
Please
We'll
do.
pixelate it.
No, literally, yeah, just green screen a business card behind me, right? Giant one, right there. But yeah, so I'm a photographer and I'm trying to build up my portfolio of headshots at the moment. And I thought, I've just been reaching out to a bunch of different people and I thought it would be a great opportunity to do some headshots of you in the studio and actually get some photos going, right? So
Found a good looking guy in it.
I was going to say, that's why you asked you, mate, not me.
I didn't want to say it.
Face
there's a
for
reason
radio.
I'm facing this way, right?
That's why I'm in the dark in the corner.
Shaded.
But yeah, so I reached out to Harrison, who then messaged you.
Yeah.
And put us in contact, asked if you were interested in some headshots, just, some, candid photos. And we got talking, eventually had a meeting and talked about somehow basically everything.
It kind of just digressed completely, yeah.
In an hour meeting, we probably had 10 minutes about photography and
I don't
the
even
rest
think it was
just
that.
about life,
I don't even think it was that. I think it was probably about 3 or 4
literally.
minutes. And then the rest was
Yeah,
getting to know you.
But we somehow set a date, kind of, to work that out. But and yeah, we just got talking and found out about the podcast and talked about mental health and kind of the struggles that we've been through in life.
Yep.
And thought, hey, you know what, this could be a great opportunity to have me come on the podcast and, talk about it. So,
And here you are.
and here I am. So
Less than 7 days later.
I know. That's
Mate, the
probably
speed you work out is
the
incredible.
quickest turnaround ever. So, yeah, anyway, we had a real deep conversation. And I was really interested about what you said. And I thought it'd be ideal for you to come on here and explain what you've been through. Just so people can get a gist of the turmoils that people go through in life and from a young age to now. So we're going to go deep.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
I like it when you go deep. This is good, all right.
So obviously answer questions if you want to. You don't have to, whatever you're comfortable with, right? But we went into a conversation about when you were young. And the journey you had, to me, it kind of it threw me off a little bit because of who you are now. And I'll get to that later. But you went through a very, very crazy childhood.
Very crazy childhood.
Okay.
Yeah.
So do you want to tell us about that and our listeners about what you went through? Because I'll follow on with some questions and I'm sure Dad will have loads of
I'm
questions.
going to bring you in close for this one. It all started on the day of my actual birth, right? My
Okay.
Okay.
That is deep.
Good place to start, man.
Yeah.
So basically, my childhood was kind of just a bit all over the place. I didn't really have like a stable house, family home, anything like that. I grew up in legal poverty, so I did not have like the money to do anything. My dad was kind of in and out of the picture throughout my childhood. I'd see him, like kind of every other weekend, that kind of relationship, and lived with just my mother, who seemed to bounce between boyfriends like a rabbit. So,
True. Okay.
yeah.
Didn't know that.
No, it was just me and her for a while. And she was nothing short of abusive in every way. It was physical, emotional, just kind of every form of torture from a parent you can imagine, right? And so it was just never a good kind of relationship with me and her, but I didn't have anywhere else to go.
Right.
I was considering running away a lot, but, never actually did, because as like a 10-year-old kid, what are you going to do when you have no one else in the picture?
So like when you pack a toy in your suitcake.
Yeah,
That's it, I'm going.
Yeah,
I'm going.
That's it. I'm leaving now.
Got to the bottom of the stairs. Shit.
Shit, can't reach the handle.
No, I have actually done that. I was like 4 foot. I was tiny, right? But yeah, so yeah, I had a very kind of was that synchronized? That was
Yeah,
amazing.
we practice it a lot.
That's
all the time.
terrifying. I feel very boxed in now. But yeah, so it was just a very kind of rough childhood with her. Like I said, she was abusive. Just the classic, like, hitting and shouting and stuff like that. But it would never really let up. There were never any like, oh, I'm sorry, I've calmed down now, let's fix things. It was never that. It was always just constant, like shouting and abuse and neglect and kind of just everything all at once, to the point where it just got kind of crazy unbearable. There were also, my brother was born when I was 9, and again, not really a good relationship with him. Obviously, he's a like baby. I can't really do anything with him, but not like that.
Wait,
Okay. But yeah, it was just kind of, it wasn't great, because of course then you have the golden child, who is this newborn.
So can I just
Yeah,
chime in on that? Is that a real brother or is it half brother?
Half
brother.
brother.
Okay,
Yeah,
fine.
no, sorry. Yeah, don't think I mentioned that. My dad and my mother separated like as soon as I was born. I was an accident. She made that very clear.
Oh, you're talking more to the camera.
He's throwing it.
Sure,
Isn't
you
he?
want me to talk to you
You're really
instead?
good at this. Okay.
I'm a media.
Even I don't do
I'm
that.
He's
used to
throwing
this
it,
shit,
mate.
man.
He's throwing it. We'll just watch.
You just watch, right? This is
I just
about
had
me.
to- I was like,
This
who's
is
looking
about me, okay? But yeah, so they separated, and I was an accident, and she made sure that I knew that. She made sure I knew that I was kind of, everything was my fault. That kind of parent. I'm sure you can imagine it.
Right.
That kind of parent. And well, like I said, when my brother was born, he was like the golden child. He could do no wrong. And that turned me into her emotional punching bag, because of all of the stress that she'd have from like work or brother or anything like that. She would then always just take that out on me. And like I said, whether it's like verbally or physically or any kind of like abuse, she would. And to her, this new kid could do absolutely no wrong. And even like as he was growing up and shit, obviously it's a child, you give him leeway, But like, for example, I had a Wii, a Nintendo Wii, and I absolutely loved the thing. I treasured it for years. I got it when I was like really young. And yeah, I had it for years. And then one time when my brother, Benjamin was his name, is his name, I think he's still alive. I don't know, I haven't seen him in 5 years. But yeah, one time he was playing on like Mario Kart or whatever it was, and he got so angry at this game, right, that he then basically threw all of the remotes and everything and like broke half the Wii apart. Of course, that was somehow my fault, and he then got rewarded with like a chocolate orange and something, and it was like, oh, it's okay, don't worry, Thomas will fix it, Or like there's one example that really sticks in my mind, where kind of everything started to break down for me. And it was one of these times where I was coming back from seeing my dad, and we were sat in the car. I'd literally just got back into my mother's car, like just been dropped off back to my mother's, and my brother hit me in the face with a toy tractor. It's nothing crazy, but it's enough to hurt, And it wasn't like I was like scarred and bleeding, but this thing hurt, right? Have you ever been smacked in the face with a toy tractor?
Not with that
Do
specific
you want
toy.
to? I can do it for you if you want. It
I'm
hurts
good,
like a
man.
motherfucker.
Do it.
Right,
I'm all right, man. There's a cop right there. He'll arrest your ass.
Yeah, actually. Oh my god. But yeah, so I obviously like cried out as like a 12-year-old. However, I was, that thing fucking hurt. And My mother then immediately spins around in her seat and she's like, both of you, stop it, and proceeds to just hit me until I stop crying, you know? That was the kind of thing that would happen over and over again, to the point where, like I said, I was just bursting into tears like every single day, couldn't ever like kind of calm down because I had to always be kind of, you know, on alert, always watch out. Then when I was 15, this is hilarious, by the way. When I was 15, I got kicked out. It was like 2 a.m. and I had just applied. I just got a job. I wish. But yeah, I'd actually just got a job. I was in college. And, you know, as a job, you have to put down the emergency contact number. You have to put down, like, you know, the person that you
Next of
call
kin.
to. Yeah, next of kin. And at the time, my dad was I think he was a social worker, so he was kind of on the road a lot, you know, going roundabout. He could be basically anywhere because his job was in the car. He was always driving around. My mother was a TA at the time, so she was just always in the classroom, couldn't really go anywhere because you couldn't just drop kind of everything she was doing and leave. So naturally, I put my dad as the emergency contact. I just thought it made sense in my head. It makes sense to me now, you know, this person can access and like my dad works near where I worked. So, you know, it makes sense. My mother did not like that one bit. She had always kind of hated my dad and they had weird arguments going on constantly. And yeah, she somehow flipped the emergency contact thing into, oh, well, that means you clearly love your dad more than me, don't you? Oh my God, I can't believe that. After everything I've done for you, all that stuff. Then that somehow turned into, oh, well, if you love him so much, why don't you just go live with him and leave me here in peace? And then that somehow spiraled into, get out of my house, I'm ashamed of you, I don't love you anymore, get out. And I remember standing there as a 15-year-old kid with my hand on the fucking on the door handle, literally just being like, okay, I'm leaving now, bye. Okay, bye, you know, kind of waiting for her.
Waiting for her to say no, don't
Waiting
go.
for her to say no.
Yeah,
And be
go,
like, you
yeah.
know what, I'm sorry, this was all kind of blown out of proportion. Can we talk about this? Like an actual civilized person would, right? But no, she continued just screaming. She was on the phone to my dad, being like, take him, I can't handle him anymore. Crazy, right? So yeah, I just remember I was stood there outside the door on the street. I had my rucksack on with my school books. And I was literally like, oh my God, what do I do? You know, it's 2 a.m. on a school night, may I add. Literally just stood there like, what do I actually do right now? Because I have nothing, nowhere to go. So ended up calling my dad, who then drove like 2, 3 hours, whatever it was, to come pick me up. And then went back there, got home at like 5 in the morning, got to his house, and it was just like, what the hell is happening? You know?
Okay. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Emotions.
Emotions.
Because obviously, I can see the comedic aspect because I'm seeing you laugh about it right now. But at that time, which is not the nicest thing to have gone through.
No, it's not the
What
nicest
were
thing
you
to
actually
go through.
feeling? I know you were thinking, obviously, okay, where am I going to go? What am I doing? I'm 15. I've got my school bags and school
Yeah,
bag on.
literally.
But what were you actually feeling?
The thing is, as a kid, I feel like a lot of it is just confusion because you don't understand a lot of real world problems. And even if you think you do, chances are you're not quite there yet. And it's not like a bad thing at all. But as a 15-year-old, obviously you're like a teenager, you're kind of getting there, but you still don't really understand, you know, why are my parents doing this? You still think parents are meant to be the ones that look after you.
Right.
And it's like, that's how it should be. You should always have to like have family to turn to. And to see my literal mother, like the closest person theoretically to me in a family, to basically shun me and like turn me away is such a crazy thing to experience. And I feel like a lot of it, instead of being like anger or sadness or whatever you think it would be, it was a lot of just surrealism for me because you're stood there and you're like, this doesn't feel real. What do I actually do right now? And I have quite like a logical brain where I think like, right, what's the next step, you know? But then for like the first time in my life, I had no idea what to do.
Right.
And I was like, you know, I'm stuck. I'm literally stood on the street outside my house at 2 in the morning. I'm 15. I can't exactly go and, you know, drive back to, you know, I can't do
Wherever.
anything. Yeah. And it's like, yeah, I think it was mainly just surrealism and just confusion, really, because I still didn't fully understand why she kicked me out. And I realized that she's possibly bipolar.
Do you think she is? Do you think is that
Honestly,
something?
yeah, I think so.
You do?
I think she has some kind of personality disorder going on. Maybe it isn't bipolar. Maybe it's BPD or something. I don't know.
The thing is, with things like that, it's really hard to pinpoint.
No, exactly. And she's the type of person that would always refuse therapy. So yeah.
And this is where we come in quite a lot. Don't
Oh,
we?
yeah,
let's
we,
go.
we tell people to talk. We tell
Yeah.
people to seek therapy because it's the importance of it and the lightness you feel after it is second to none. I mean, this is why Dan came up with this whole concept and this charity and this podcast.
You're, without jumping too far ahead. So you're 15. Mum's chucked you out.
I'm 20 now, by the way. I'm not 15. I might look it. I am actually 20,
Yeah.
right?
In
He
where
shaved
we are,
before
yeah.
he came.
yeah.
So at 15, chucked out. Dad picks you up. I'll take you there and go live with Dad.
Yeah.
Okay. Without jumping too far ahead, the relationship with your mum, has that improved any, or have you still?
No, she tried to stay in contact with me for a while, and I did entertain it, I guess. We kind of texted a couple of times. I went over like once, I think, for my brother's birthday party. But it's like, since then, just no. A few months ago, I just blocked her and everything, and I was like, it was last year actually. Blocked her and everything, blocked her like on my phone, absolutely everything, and just fully cut contact. Because the thing is, even 5 years later, she still never apologized, never seen the part where she was wrong. And I think it was like the day after she kicked me out, she was like, "Oh, so when are you coming back? When are you coming home?" And I was like, "Are you fucking serious? I'm not coming back. You just kicked me out at 15 at 2 in the morning. I'm not going back." And she did flit between kind of crazy anger and this is all your fault to like, "Oh, when are you coming home? We miss you." And it's like I said, she never apologized, but she seemed to like want me back. But then in the same breath, I remember when I went back to get my PC, right? Because I had just a little tower PC, and I went back with my dad. I had my key, I had everything. Literally went in there, got it, left. Not breaking and entering, not like stealing, nothing like that. I literally used my own key, went in, took some of my stuff, and left. And then I remember I was in the cinema with my dad, and she was blowing up both of our phones, and he had like a watch on with it's connected smartwatch. And she was calling, she called like 27 times in an hour, literally being like, "Oh, you've stolen from me. I'm calling the police on you. I'm getting you arrested. You do not do this to your mother." That kind of stuff. And it's like, "Oh, so you clearly don't want me back, do you?" But yeah, so then it was like that for a couple of years. And then eventually I just cut contact, and I was like, can't do this anymore. Because every phone call, every text would give me an anxiety spike, because I'm like, "Oh, what if it could be her?" And she'd always try and find ways to get to me through other people. Because I've obviously cut her off, I don't speak to a lot of that side of the family anymore. But she'd talk to my uncles and aunts and grandparents, and she'd be like, you could tell it was her because of the way they'd ask. And they'd be like, "Oh, so whereabouts are you living now?" When I've made an effort to not tell anyone where I'm living and not tell her, not let her know. And they're like, "Oh yeah, where should we send your birthday gifts? What's your address? Is it still this one?" And it's like, on the surface, yeah, it probably seems innocent, but you could tell that it was her. And I may well just be being paranoid, but I'd rather be paranoid and be right,
Sure.
because she has a habit of rocking up completely unannounced, and that never ends well for anyone.
When was the last time she did that though?
I think it was last year, back in my old house. Yeah, I used to live still in Coventry, but yeah, somewhere else. And she literally just turned up one day with my brother and was like, "Hi, how are you?" Acting like nothing happened. Literally walked into my house, sat down on my bed without asking, without doing anything, just like moving all my stuff about. And I was like, "What the fuck are you doing here? This is not okay." And yeah, so it's just, she has the capacity to do the things that people think you're just being paranoid about.
Right.
And it's like, even if I am just being paranoid and this shit isn't going to happen, I'd rather still be paranoid because it has happened before. And she might not do it again, but she might, know? So it's led to a lot of trauma with that.
So let's talk about you for a sec and how all this has affected you now. Because obviously that has happened.
Yeah.
And hopefully that's the end of it.
Hopefully.
But obviously this has a long-term effect. And the kind of things that I want to know is, and I'll speak on behalf of both of us on this one, is how has this affected your trust and your emotions towards other people?
Exactly how you fucking think. I have crazy trust issues, and I find other people, I guess, just kind of hard to believe, hard to be with, because I know kind of what people are capable of now. And I know that my mother is like an extreme of what people can do. And it's like, I know she's not a good person. And I know that 99% of people are. But because I've seen kind of what that 1% can do, it even now essentially makes me just straight up scared of like a lot of interaction. And I've overcome a lot of it now. But I used to be crazy socially anxious. Like literally, I would be afraid to go to the shop, and that obviously stemmed a lot from my childhood, from my mother, from a lot of this stuff, and it was really hard to deal with, because how do you get past that when all you've ever known as a child is this like abuse, neglect, emotional manipulation? How do you then turn around and you're like, oh yeah, you're completely fine, I trust you completely, here's my entire heart, How do you do that? And that's something that I've been trying to work on for the last couple of years. And I think I'm getting there. I have my girlfriend now. I love you very much if you're watching. I hope she is.
It's like GMTV, man.
It might be. I don't know. They might put this live. It's just live.
He's gone.
No, carry on.
Are you making fun of my trauma? Is that
No,
what it is? Is that what
no,
it is, huh?
it's just the fact that I love the fact that you are nailing it to the camera, because everybody else coming, you're like, oh, we don't know where to look, we don't know what to do. You are
We were worried
just
about the whole
all
neck
over
thing,
it.
weren't we?
Yeah.
We ain't got a room. It's been quite easy, actually.
I need like a Liam Neeson mode. Just talk straight to the camera.
That's freaky, though.
That is.
probably
I'm
scare
so
people.
sorry. But yeah, it just kind of, it's hard to work on. But now I am getting through it. Like I said, with my girlfriend, I have like a good circle of friends. I have like all of these people around me that kind of double as a support system and just normal friends, Because as oh god, I'm not a teenager. I'm 20 now.
Yeah, you're old, man.
Oh, fuck off.
Hey, it makes us feel great, doesn't it?
Yeah, 20 is so old. Can't imagine being older than that. God.
Wow.
But
Fuck shit. You will one day and think, fuck.
look back on this and be like, what happened? That was so good looking. No, but yeah, and it is difficult to work on, but I'm getting there, and through years of vigorous like trading and therapy and emotional management, and it's like I do still have things rattling around in my head, but I'm a hell of a lot better now than I was back then, and I know that for sure, because before I used to not even be able to think about it without breaking down, because this had been a good chunk of my life. I mean, 15 years I had to deal with this, and it's only when you're out of it, looking back on it, that you realize, damn, that was not okay. This shit was not normal. And it's like, how do you even begin to deal with that? But we are getting there. We're getting there.
It's scary, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's real scary to have to think that people have actually gone through this.
Yeah.
Especially
I was just thinking back to the episode we did a couple of weeks back with Alex and Darren.
Yeah.
Because they were the dads on the other side of broken relationships, with kids being used as tools against them, weaponized.
100%.
So
me.
what's interesting, so you said at the beginning dad was in and out of the picture, mum and dad separated, so no relationship. Then it was almost forced upon dad when you've been kicked out at 15 for your dad to come in. How did that affect your relationship with dad?
So interestingly, with my dad, it's an interesting relationship, because it seems to be amazing when we're not in the same house.
Okay.
So when I'm at uni and I have my own space to breathe, my own space to do kind of everything, it's great. Literally no problems at all. He comes to visit every now and then. It's like, oh my God, hi, how are you? It's good.
Yeah.
Everything's good. But then when I've had to live with him kind of over the summer or before uni or anything like that, it starts to crumble and it starts to crack, and you can really tell, because we have quite differing opinions on a lot of things, and different ways to kind of manage emotions, different ways to deal with life, and because of that we butt heads quite a lot, and it tends to kind of not end amazingly well.
Okay.
But we still have like a solid relationship. I don't think he'd ever kick me out.
Yeah.
It's a much better relationship than I ever did have with my mother.
Yeah.
But it's good, but it does occasionally. Yeah. But honestly, I understand it, because how are you, when I got kicked out, he was married with a kid,
Okay.
and it's like a newborn kid at that. And how the hell do you go from that like nuclear family to then having an angsty teenager join the house?
Yeah,
you
just
know,
rock
how do
up,
you
yeah.
do that?
Yeah.
And so I understand it, I don't think it's like just survivor's guilt or anything. I think I understand kind of where it comes from, and how our relationship does start to have issues, because it's difficult,
Yeah.
Teenagers are hard enough to deal with as is.
Yeah.
I can't imagine having your life so perfect and then having another teenager
All
just
tipped
suddenly
upside down
Yeah,
in
literally.
a second.
Because
yeah.
then I had
Yeah.
I moved into the office, and I was like, I had like a room there, and then I had to bring everything over, and it was like, shit, now we have all the storage of an extra person that we need to find a
Yeah.
space to
Yeah.
put it, and it's like, and then we have to figure out college. The next day after I got kicked out, I took a train for the first time, because I'd always taken buses or like just driven anywhere as like a 15-year-old. And literally the very next day after I got kicked out, we sorted out all the trains, sorted out, like I said, going to my stepmother's work, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Literally the very next day we managed to sort it out. So things are good in that sense when we can work on them. But then, like I said, when we're just stuck kind of living together, that's when it starts to have an issue.
Do you think, thinking outside the box a little bit, do you think that your mum thought, oh, I'm gonna, right, that's it, chuck him out? Do you think that she thought you would go to dad? Bear in mind you've had no relationship prior to that.
Thing is,
Good question.
that is a good question. But thing
Thinking
is,
head on, man.
Up there for thinking, man.
why did I agree to this? No, thing
Thought we were
is,
going to go deep.
no, I like it when you go deep. It's okay. The thing is, when she was in the kind of act of kicking me out, like I said, she was saying like, "Oh, you should go live with your dad." I think she was like on the phone to him at some points, literally just being like, "Take him, I can't handle him anymore." So I don't really know what she expected, because she didn't give me time to pack or say goodbye or wait for my dad to get there. It was just like, right, you're out on the street. If your dad picks you up, so be it.
Yeah.
And she didn't say if your dad picks you up. She literally just shut me out.
Yeah.
So I don't know what that is like.
Yeah.
I don't know whether she was expecting my dad to come pick me up, or whether it just happened, because I was the one that called him and said, "Can you come pick me up?" She wasn't like, "Oh, I just kicked out our son, come pick him up, please." That didn't happen. All it was her screaming at him about how shit I was.
Yeah.
Like how shit I was.
Yeah.
So I was the one that then called my dad and said, "Hey, can you come pick me up? I have just been kicked out."
Yeah.
So honestly, I don't know. I honestly think she would have just left me out there regardless of what happened. I know part of me would always like to hope that she'd eventually open the door and be like, "It's okay, I'm sorry, come inside." But I think she would just let me freeze, literally out on the street. I don't think she would have opened that door again. I think she would have just shut me out and let me rot.
So this is interesting. So there's 2 points here. So obviously you went through the emotional trauma, and then the fact that she's just kicked you out. Okay. And when you were kicked out, obviously you didn't know where you were going to go.
No, I had no idea.
So I don't want to push you too much for an answer on this one.
No, push
but
me.
I want you to.
I'm comfortable to talk about it. It's okay.
Okay, so obviously it hurt. The trauma hurt. What happened there? But did it hurt even more so knowing that she probably just doesn't give a shit about you and where you go? Because that's got to be a different pain altogether.
Yeah, I'm going to give you a kind of sideways answer here.
Okay.
I don't know if she doesn't give a shit about me. Part of me still believes that she does, because she does make an effort to contact me. No matter how many fucking times I block her, she finds another way. And you don't do that about somebody you don't care about. If you genuinely don't care about someone, you don't go and find ways to like wriggle your way into their life, right? So part of me is like, maybe she does care. Maybe not in the best way, and maybe it's just like a control thing. But even so, that is a form of caring. And it's not a part of caring that I want to be part of, but that is caring. But then you look at the rest of the picture, and it's like, she can't care. How can you care? Maybe she did just get caught up in the heat of the moment and decided to kick me out randomly. But how do you actively kick out your firstborn son onto the street and say, like, I'm ashamed of you. I don't love you. Get out, you know? How do you do that to someone that you care about?
Valid question. Yeah, valid point. Yeah.
Yes, you can argue, like I said, it's like, it was the moment, everything was all angry, I didn't calm down in time. But that's another level, you know? It's not like a crime of passion. It's like a whole actual other level of shunning the one person that like fully trusts you. Because, you know, your child is meant to be someone that you have like the most connection with. They literally like, they're part of you, you know?
So before
how do you do
you're...
that?
Sorry, I've just gone off again.
No.
I've got so many questions.
I can see your
Can
brain.
you
I
see
love it.
the
I can see your brain
eyes?
wiring, yeah.
So you were 8 when your brother was born, right? Your
9,
half
I
brother.
think.
9, 8,
Yeah.
9.
That kind of
So when he was born, prior to that, how was your relationship?
with my mother.
Your mum.
Honestly, don't remember it much. It wasn't great. Like I said, she was still emotionally and physically abusive. And at that time, she had another partner, and both of those would kind of, I mean, I guess like gang up on me. Obviously, that is kind of what they're meant to do. You're meant to like parent someone.
Not gang up.
No,
though.
not gang up. No, I mean like you're meant to. No, you're meant to kind of parent someone together, right? And I get that side of it, but you're not meant to both like fight me. You know, it's not meant to be like two parents against one child. So, yeah, every kind of conversation, every argument would always be with like both of them coming at me,
Fine.
and it was never a good relationship. It wasn't a terrible one. But it was, yeah, it wasn't good by any means. I had the, like I said, I had the occasional physical abuse, emotional abuse, whatever. I remember I was like dragged up the stairs by my neck one time, and it was like all this shit happened, but then just got so much worse when like my brother was born and when everything escalated.
That
That what?
is what I was getting at.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you said at the beginning that parents split, and your mum always told you that you were an accident. She never wanted you.
Yeah. No, rub it in. All right.
Touching on that, is there an element of resentment in the fact that mum and dad's relationship was broken down, and she's taking that out on you because
100%.
you're still there. You're the
I'm the small connection.
you're the remnants of that
It's that
relationship.
connection, isn't it? Yeah.
100%,
She can't fire into your dad because he's not in the picture. Is then that deflecting onto you? Is that
Yeah, 100%. I've talked about this with my dad a lot actually, because she hated his guts the moment they like broke up. I have no idea why, but she genuinely was like, thought he was like literally the devil. He was like, oh, he was awful. Then
So
he
this
who
is the
must not be
point.
named, you know. So yeah, I do genuinely think that because I am, you know, I am his child, then like you said, there's complete resentment towards me because I am all that remains of that past memory, of that past life. So then when another child was born, of course he's going to be the golden child because this one was on purpose, you know?
Yeah.
This one's with someone that you actually want to have a life with, and then they broke up, and that was a really funny story.
I was going to ask you that.
They broke up. What,
Yeah.
you'd stay
I tell
with
you,
that?
me
You'd
and
stay
you
with
are
that woman?
connected.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, they split up. But yeah, of course you'd love that child more than the one you had completely by accident and reminds you of a life you were never meant to have, you know?
I'm just
messed up as
I'm
fuck.
just curious because obviously you're getting mum's side, you're the accident, she didn't want you, blah blah blah. But is that fueled by the fact that the relationship's gone south? You know, it's the worst thing you can say to a kid is I never wanted you, you're an accident. But again, is that the weaponization of you against the failed relationship with
Probably,
dad?
honestly.
And I'm you know, I don't know your parents, I don't know you, but I'm guessing at some point there was a conversation around do we have a child or not? And at some point there were two willing contestants,
Right.
which were involved in that, being your mum and dad. So at some point there must have been a conversation, let's have a baby. So to say that you're unwanted, it sounds to me as if it's the fuck this, your dad's a dickhead, I'm going to take it out on you and you're going to have it full blast because I can't get to him. So her saying those words is getting at you similarly getting towards
Yeah.
your dad.
So
absolutely.
literally,
100%.
she's really speaking to him through
Yeah.
you.
100%. I told
Yeah.
you I was literally like an emotional punch bag for everything that she
Yeah.
couldn't get out to other people.
Yeah.
You know, every bit of like anger that she'd have, basically any emotion, any negative emotion that she'd have related to my dad, work,
Yeah.
like my life, whatever, like her partner's, anything would be taken out on me in the form of some form of abuse,
Yeah.
you know, physical, verbal, emotional,
Yeah.
manipulation, whatever it is. All she kind of ever wanted was to have control over me. She was a complete control freak. She would make herself own like everything about me. Like, you know, she'd control my bank account, my phone, like literally everything. And a teenager needs their privacy. You know, it's the time in your life when you're developing and like actually learning new things, right?
Yeah.
So to have that immediately stripped away, you know, there was no lock on my bedroom door, nothing like that. So it was like, you know, constantly being watched and having this pressure to like perform and be such a good child when you have no privacy, no time to actually be yourself.
Yeah.
Was insane.
Yeah.
Because like, especially around COVID and everything like that, you know, I never had the chance to like, you know, go and hang out with friends or
Yeah.
just go to the cinema together
Yeah.
because half of it was fucking closed.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
yeah, so I
It's
just never-
interesting because we've had the flip side of that where broken relationship, children in the middle of it, and then mum will poison the ears of the children behind saying how bad dad is.
Oh, 100%.
But then
100%.
overcompensate with that in making everything good as possible for the kids. But you're getting the reverse side of that. Mum hates dad. But instead of
Complete flip side.
showering you with the affection that she's maybe not been able to give to dad or is missing from
You think
dad,
so, right? That would be
you're
nice.
getting the complete 180 of that, and you're just getting the torrent of abuse. It's just, yeah, it just fucks with people's heads, and people do it to kids, thinking, "Oh, it's okay, they're kids, they can bounce."
I think that's
no,
the most
they
messed up part
can't.
of this. That's the most messed up part is that throughout all of this, you know, I was still legally a minor. I was like barely in secondary school when this shit was happening, and it's like, how do you do that to a child? What goes through your brain to think I'm gonna like literally beat up this child because I can, you know, because I'm angry, I'm gonna take it out on this 11-year-old. You know, how does that work? To your
It
own
doesn't.
kid as well.
It doesn't.
No.
And it doesn't.
And
it's
that's
just,
why I
there's-
think she has some sort of emotional or personality disorder.
But sometimes it doesn't even need to be
No.
that. You know, and I
Sometimes
think
it
a lot
doesn't
of it
need
is
to be
down to
diagnosed.
resentment.
yeah.
A lot
It's
of it
just
is down
she's
to
that
there's
twisted
hate.
and wound up by what's gone on between her and dad, and you were unfortunately smack bang in the firing line for it. And because, like I said, because she can't get to dad, you're getting it.
You mentioned therapy as well. You've had therapy.
I was okay. This is funny. I was actually declined from therapy. They said
Okay.
that they couldn't help me,
Why?
which I think I don't know. They literally just said, "Oh, we don't think therapy is suitable for you at this time."
Wow.
And it's like,
Have you heard that
You're
before?
too, yeah,
You have.
yeah, I've
Oh,
heard it.
I don't know
yeah,
anyone.
yeah.
Everyone's always like, "Oh
There's-
yeah, go to therapy." No, they don't want me.
There's a few lads in the group that have spoken to me about they've gone through whichever version of therapy, talking therapies, counselling, whatever, and they will maybe initially get an appointment and a conversation, and then expecting a follow up for them to be told, actually, I can't do anything to help you at the minute. It's almost like saying you're too fucking broken. I don't know the glue to put it back
Thank
together.
you. Literally, can I go on a little tangent about
course you can.
counselling real quick? So I did have counselling.
We love
Going straight to
tangents.
the camera,
We love
right.
tangents.
Let's
We
go.
do.
Let's go. Tangent
We do.
time. That should be a new segment on your show. Tangent time.
The
It'd be
tangent.
beautiful. Yeah.
Make the entire episode's a tangent. We just try and keep it in the
Didn't
middle.
we start talking about photography and then now we're on the
Yeah.
but yeah, what was my
Cancelling.
tangent about? Cancelling. But yeah, so counselling for me, I was referred to counselling through the school, through secondary school and then college, right? And it was the most messed up thing ever. I was put onto, I think it was no, it wasn't Cam's first. It was some other like counselling company's waiting list. And they were like, okay, we have an appointment here. Psych, we have an appointment here. Oh, actually, no, that one's cancelled too. We have an appointment here over the course of about 6 months. Then the counselling company shut down. And I was like, great.
You had
I'm
that
now
much of
just
an
stuck-
effect.
Yep,
They shut it
great.
down.
What do I do now? So they put me onto Cam's waiting list right at the bottom. So I then had to wait literally like a year for an appointment. I think a lot of the stress at that time was about my like GCSEs and stuff. Like I said, it was like secondary school. Everything's all stressful. All of this has like just happened. And by the time I actually got an appointment, I was like halfway through college. And it was like, oh, great, GCSEs are over now, but thanks. And I'm like, okay, no worries. And then that was it.
Yeah.
That was it. After like a year and a half of waiting, I got literally about a 2-minute phone call being like, oh, so what can we help you with? We heard it's about the GCSEs. And it was like, oh, no, that was a while back, but I'm still struggling. Okay, that's all right.
Yeah.
That was it.
And this is what we've got at
And it was
before.
like, wow.
We have blokes in the group that apply for counselling and they're going through trauma here at point A. It takes so long to get to point B. They've
Trauma
either
skewed off in another
well,
direction.
yeah, or they don't get to point B because trauma gets too much. They
Yeah.
see no other way out and they go and commit suicide. And
Look,
that's what we
I
need
would like to,
to
say I actually
address.
have attempted a couple of times, which is obviously extremely sad and heartbreaking. And it's like,
Yeah.
how does life get to that point?
Yeah.
where
Just
there's-
do me a
there's-
favor, just get a little bit closer to the mic.
There's all
Yeah,
these support
Not that close, but yeah. Just
No, no, I get you.
Swallow it.
No.
Yeah.
And Rishu. How does it get to the point where there's all of these support systems and yet they are all failing? You know, how do none of them actually work?
Yeah.
When they're there in theory, but then when you actually need to use them, nothing actually works, and then you don't see another way out.
Right.
Because the world shouldn't ever get to that point with the amount of things we have available, the amount of resources that people can use, and you're telling me that none of them can actually help you. And I've been in that position, and I know how scary it is, but there is always a way out. It might just take a fucking while, you know? But yeah.
There's a solution.
There's always a solution.
There's a solution.
you know?
And sadly, it
There's
does take a
always a
long time to
solution.
get there. But fair play, you know, I'm glad you didn't go down that route, you know, because this conversation would be weird.
Yep.
But genuinely, this is a lot of the things that happen because there is that gap in between. Where the fuck do people go?
Isn't it like isn't a person every minute or something like commit suicide across the world?
Yeah, that's it. It's
yeah.
about that, isn't
Yeah.
it? Yeah.
Yeah. it's
In
a
the
person
UK, it's 14 men a day,
14 minutes a day. There you go.
Yeah,
And it's like
that's a lot.
84 a week.
yeah, and not just men, women, children. You know.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
absolutely everyone
Do you know what,
can go through this
It's
shit.
scary because when I started doing this, you sort of look at the statistics and you start delving into the men, and then you look at women. And I mean, there's a massive disparity, albeit there is a rise in, and it seems to be middle-aged women that are creeping up in the suicide statistics. But what concerned me and what sort of horrified me the most when I'm doing it is the amount of child suicide and attempt suicides now, particularly post-COVID. It's
insane.
alarmingly on the rise, and it's people in similar positions to yourself have gone through a shitload of trauma, have no outlet to speak to, and it might be relationship breakdown between the parents. So then the poor kid's stuck in the middle. Well, the fuck do I talk to you now? Because mum's pissed off, dad's pissed off, they're pissed off at each other, they're pissed off at me because I'm in the middle. I can't talk to them about what I want to talk to, and they're not emotionally, mentally strong enough and prepared and mature enough to have a conversation like with somebody else. And then it's fuck.
Can I just say, I was in that exact position because obviously over COVID, what I usually did is the way I got kind of everything out is I'd go hang out with friends. You know,
Yeah.
I'd go to the park, I'd go, like I said,
Do
to
the
cinema,
normal teenage things.
do the normal teenage thing,
Yeah, yeah.
right? COVID completely wrecked that for me. And, you know, 2020, we were inside like for a whole year.
Yeah.
And it's like, so now imagine all of that happening, but now I'm in the vicinity of my abusive mother, her abusive partner, and my insane brother,
Yeah.
golden child, all locked in the same house for
No
24 hours a
escape.
day.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
No outlet, because nobody else has an outlet either, not
Yeah.
just me, all just basically boiling with rage.
Yeah, it's the perfect storm, isn't
Yeah,
it?
exactly. So
You
no
know-
fucking wonder this happened.
It's strange. Well, it's not strange. It's funny you say that because you've just mentioned that your insane brother, right? So it's kind of like what your mum's doing with you.
I'm very sorry.
Yeah, but
Allegedly.
there's that resentment. Allegedly. There's that resentment towards him as well, isn't there? Because of how well he's been treated. But it's not his fault.
That's the thing. I don't ever want to feel like, or make him feel like it's his fault. And like I said, I haven't
was just
seen him-
there.
I haven't seen him in years, so I genuinely hope he's doing okay. He has done nothing wrong. All of the bitchiness he did to me as a child, he was literally like 3. I'm not going to be like, oh, it's all the 3-year-old's fault. Like,
Yeah.
can't believe it.
Dickhead.
No,
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that. Of course I'm not. But as a child, you know, you got to understand that I am being hurt from 2 different angles. Why would I not feel
Yeah.
resentment to both of them? You know? And my 11-year-old brain couldn't really understand the concept of a 2-year-old isn't a bad thing.
And also, your 11-year-old brain can't understand the fact that it is just these guys that have
Yeah.
the problem, not me.
Yeah.
you just
it's like-
automatically assume it's you. You're that
Yeah.
kid.
Exactly. And yeah, so I do honestly think there is some sort of subconscious resentment towards my younger brother. And although it isn't his fault at all, because of the way he's been treated and like all of the amazing things that he gets, or got, sorry, when I was living with my mother, it means that I obviously only see the back end of that.
Of course.
And I see everything good that happens to him. And I'm like, well, why can't that happen to me? You know, I'm older. I have more going on in my life, albeit as a, 10-year-old. Why could I not have that kind of treatment? You know, why couldn't I have a hug when I'm crying? Why am I hit instead, you know? And it's like, it's crazy to look back on. This is what I was saying. Like, you don't realize how crazy it is until you look back on it. And you're like, holy shit, this was not normal, you know? It's
No.
crazy. No, okay, you don't know, right? No, right.
No, as in, I know, I know it's not normal.
Definitely
yeah,
not
yeah,
normal.
yeah.
It's fucked. And it goes. My head goes a bit scrambled like this because I'm not saying I have the perfect child. I don't think there is a perfect child.
No, there isn't. Of
Because
course, I, of
parents-
course, wasn't a perfect child.
No.
You know? But kids are meant to have this, like,
They're supposed to have the love, right? And that's so important. Like my household's like that. My dad was always a quiet one. Mum was always on that, the disciplinarian, but also she was like a lot of the loving. You know, the food. The food was a big thing for me. Like when you're a kid, and you go, "Oh, that's my favorite food." So fish fingers. Indian household, we didn't have fish fingers much, but when we did, it was like the best thing in the world.
yeah.
But love is given in so many different ways, right? Especially from a parent. And I feel bad that you had to go through that, you know, and that you had to go through all this trauma just to. I'm glad you're in a good place now. I can see you're in a better place. I mean, we've only met less than a week ago, but I can already gather.
Yeah, we said about this. We can tell that.
Yeah, you can. I know that you're not over it. It's going to take time. And that's one
And-
thing I think anyone needs to understand is that when you're trying to recover from something, it's not an overnight thing.
No,
It's a
the thing
process.
is, you won't necessarily ever get over it in the sense that you suddenly will forget about it and not worry about it anymore, because it's a thing that will always stay with you. But it's about kind of not getting over it, but overcoming your own kind of anxiety around it. And it's like, yes, this thing has happened, and it fucking sucks that it happened. And I am going to look back on it, 30 years into the future. But hopefully 30 years into the future, I won't look back on it with the same kind of sadness that I do now. And it's like, do you know what I'm trying to say? So
I know
it's
exactly
not
what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it's not the same sadness, not the same emotion. It's just like, yes, it happened, and we've moved on from it.
Yeah.
Yeah. One
So-
thing I would just like to say,
Yeah.
sorry, a lot of people that I know do have issues with their parents and, get kicked out or run away from home or things like that. And a lot of people always ask, but they're your parents, why would you leave them? All I want people to think is, what did the parents do to make the kids feel like they had no other option but to leave? Your parents are meant to be the one kind of group of people that are there to protect you. Your family is like, it's all about family, right? Families, especially at Christmas, it's meant to be like a big thing, all having food around the dinner table together. It's meant to be all about family, parents, and protection and love. What did the parents do to make the kids feel like they had no other choice, no other option, but to run away out onto the street alone? Instead of thinking about like, oh, but they're your parents, but it's your kid. Why do you make your kid do that?
Didn't expect that.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's but I'm glad you said that. I'm really glad you said that.
It's
So
just something I want people to think about.
I'm going to ask you a question, and I want you to give me just 3 sentences. What would you say to your 10-year-old self now?
Stumped him.
Huh?
Fight.
Right.
Just that one word.
Just the one word.
Because the thing is, as a kid, I always just kind of, cowered down and just kind of dealt with it and waited for shit to happen, waited for the storm to pass over me. If I'd actually fought back or made my voice heard or something like that, or maybe not even like stopped the abuse, just kind of made myself known, then maybe I at least could have left sooner, or even got kicked out sooner. Something could have happened sooner that would meant I had to endure it for less. Because it was fucking tough growing up like that.
Of course.
And I think even if I'd been kicked out at 10 and had my dad taken me in, it would have been a much easier transition and everything would have been smoother. So I think that would be the one thing I'd say. Fight.
Thanks for that.
I like that.
That's
I like that.
yeah. Yeah, it's always just nice of a
Put that on a
bit of
poster.
feel.
Hell yeah.
No, but thank you, and it's It's been an interesting and deep chat, actually, because I didn't know which way it would go. Because that's like a first for me, to actually have had a chat with anyone who's actually gone through that kind of trauma when they're so young. What about you, Dan? Have you had that?
Unfortunately, yes. Obviously,
You have.
doing what I do in my day job.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I don't
I
actually,
get it.
context, please. What do you do? I met you like half an hour ago, man. I don't know what you do.
I'm a police officer by day.
Oh, wow.
And
Batman
I do
by night, yeah?
Batman by night. You never see me and Bruce Wayne in the same room, so you know what I'm saying.
That's because
That'd be
I'm
wicked.
actually
Your voice would be like.
I'm actually Batman, though, so who...
Well,
Batman.
we'll put that out for the public to decide.
Oh.
Yeah. So unfortunately, mate, yeah, it's not. I'm not diminishing, or it's more common. There are more out there, but again, it's that voice. It's having that ability or that opportunity to be able to stand up and do something about it. And picking up on Vish said, what's interesting is this is your words to your 10-year-old self. What's your words to your mum at that time?
Fuck, no, I'm kidding. Honestly, I don't think I'd say anything, because the fact is, obviously I'm joking around being like, oh, I hate her, she. I genuinely, I don't feel any kind of resentment towards her anymore. Since it's like, 5 years ago that all of this happened, and it's been a good few years since we actually had any kind of normal interaction, I'm honestly she seems just like another person in my life to me now. She isn't like a long lost mother that I'm like, oh, I wish we could reconnect. It's like a distant family member.
Right.
It's like, not even that, like a distant friend.
Acquaintance.
Yeah, exactly.
basically
It's
what
kind
gone
of that
down to.
person I saw on the street once and kind of recognize, There isn't, like I said, any kind of resentment or love or any kind of deep emotion towards her. So I don't know what I'd say. I'd probably just stay silent, because if she was here like right in front of me right now, I wouldn't care. Obviously, I don't really want to talk to her, but the fact is I'm not going to be like all in her face like, oh, I hate you, why would you do this to me? Because it doesn't matter. It's done, So why would I make it reappear and give her that ammunition to then fire back at me, I'm just done with it.
Yes, it's too late to matter, though, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's too late.
But that's quite humbling to hear you have that attitude, going through what you've gone through, the darkest depths that you've been to, and still be able to sort of sit there and go, do you know what? Fuck it, it's happened. I'll move on. That's kudos
all I
to
think
you.
is that it's not gonna.
Yeah, I think you've hit the nail on the head there.
What do you say?
It's kudos to you. You're in a position. You're a strong enough person now, after all the shit you've been through, and it sort of shaped and molded you to the person you are today. To be able to stand there and say, do you know what? Yeah, fuck it, it's happened. I've moved on. A lot of people are fucking trying to dive over a tail, trying to get somebody to. This is what you did to me. This is how you messed me.
And that's the thing. I'm not gonna suddenly jump into her arms and forgive
No.
her.
But at the same time, you're not trying to wipe her out.
I'm not gonna
Yeah.
like, try and beat her up.
Yeah.
Because then I'm no better than her. And it's like, why would I, like I said, give her the ammunition to then fire straight back at me?
Yeah.
When it's already said and done and nothing new needs to happen.
Yeah.
That's why one of the reasons I blocked her and everything. I'm just done.
Done with that chapter and move on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Move on. I have much better life now than I ever did when I was with her. Why would I go back to it?
Sometimes you got to go through shit to get out the other side, and you clearly have, man. But no, I really appreciate you opening up about this.
Absolutely.
I didn't expect it to be as deep as that, but this is the purpose of the show, isn't it? So people can understand, what people go through, and it's normal.
And like you say, it's good because we've had dads on here that are suffering from not seeing their kids. They've gone through a relationship breakdown. But you're the first person we've come on as a child that's gone through that and has come out the other side of it. So it's another viewpoint and something that I think parents can probably listen to. If you're going through something like that in a minute and the relationship is toxic, it's broken down, there's kids involved, this is the story you need to listen to, because you forget about those people in the middle. You're concentrating on yourself. You're worried about how you're feeling and how that's affecting you, but it's the kids in the middle that are copping it. So this is something for people to listen to. Actually, do you know what? The fucking harm we're doing to the poor kids in the middle needs to be thought about.
That's it. And people do forget that.
Yeah.
Don't forget about the little guys.
They do.
Yeah.
They do. But thank you for coming in again.
No, anytime.
Again, it's been different.
Yeah.
and it's kind of has a little bit impacted me a little bit, and I didn't expect it to.
I could tell because you've gone quiet.
Yeah,
I was thinking that. This guy's loud 90% of the time. What's happened?
do you know what it is? It's the whole empath thing, and I do take in people's energies, and I can still feel that you've got a lot to deal with. This is a process.
Yeah, this is just the first part of the.
Because I can see you use humor as your defense mechanism as well. Which is a normal thing to do. It's a normal thing to do, and a lot of people do that. Men do that.
Yeah.
So the fact that you've opened up, even though you have used humor, this is a good way of you healing as well. This is like the way forward.
100%.
Now you obviously have been rejected for therapy, but it doesn't mean that's the end.
No, and I am still constantly healing. Like I said, I have my girlfriend, I have a circle of friends, I have all of these support systems.
The support system. That's
and
it.
I am getting there. So
that's why I went quiet, because I felt it.
Yeah.
And I do feel this is trouble with being an empath, but you do. I can see a real good path for you. I can see you going in the right direction, and that pleases me a lot, especially with being 20. And that to me, you know, already when I was a minor, you're still a minor in my eyes, man. You're
still not 21 yet. I can't rent a car yet. So.
Exactly. you're still a baby, and there's a lot of growth. And trust me, it'll only get better. It'll only get better now that you've accepted what's happened, and you said the right thing about, I'm not gonna have to deal with that now. I'm not gonna force a relationship or have those feelings towards my mum because you've dealt with it, and now that's the process of moving on.
Exactly. That's what
Instead of sweeping it under the rug, you've dealt with it. Now you can move on and be happy.
I'm pass these life lessons on to your children when they come along, because that cycle is so easy to fall back into. This is how I was treated. Fuck it. This is how you're going to get treated, and so on and so forth.
That's the thing. Another tangent for you. Tangent segment. A lot of people think, right? So there's two ways to deal with these things in my head. Sorry.
I know where you're going with this already.
You know exactly where I'm going with this. Yeah. But just for the camera's sake. When you are, as a child, abused or something happens, or say you have like an alcoholic parent or whatever, when you have your own kid, there are two ways to look at it. You can either say, oh, my dad hit me, you know, my mother was an alcoholic, so I'm going to do that as well and put that onto you, you know? Or you can break the cycle and be like, this is what they did to me. I'm going to make sure you never have to fucking go through that.
Yeah.
You know?
And it also goes on to your relationships as well.
Exactly. And it's like, I know how bad people can get treated, so I'm going to make sure that nobody ever has to feel like that again. And it's like, I have all these big plans for the future to, you know, actually help people and set up stuff.
That's amazing.
Really,
be proud of yourself, man.
Really,
you should be very proud of yourself.
Thank you.
And like Dan said, man, make sure you instill that in other people as well.
Yeah, it's learned behaviour, isn't it?
It is. It is. But yeah, that was good. Thank you. Thank you. We're almost at the end of the show.
Yes.
That's gone well quick.
It has gone quick.
It's 5:15.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. On a Wednesday.
Don't, mate, because my head's a mess. Don't, yeah. We have a little section we like to call Love Spuds. Something that's pissed you off this week. Or,
so, you know,
conversely.
Vish, right?
Yeah, we're getting you on a podcast.
This guy called Vish.
Yeah. He missold you the podcast idea. Yeah. PPI. So it can be a Love Spuds, which is something that's pissed you off this week, or a Love Plums, something that's made you feel good this week. As your guest, I've just dropped that on you, so I'll go to Vish first.
Yeah, please do.
I'll give you time to think about one. Vish.
Hey, oh shit. Okay.
I've got my thing.
I think I'm gonna go for a semi-self-inflicted.
Oh.
Yeah, you know it's gonna happen.
There's gonna be a jury decision on this.
So I told you about both of you about this earlier on. So I, as you well know, I'm a bit of an avid gym goer now.
Yes.
And I love going to the gym. But
Something glow up.
Yesterday I kind of fucked up. So I hadn't gone for about a week. Remember last week I was on the trampoline and I messed my back up.
Yes.
So I hadn't gone since last week Monday.
Okay.
And yesterday was the first time I went. So it's been 8 days. And that's a long time for me. Normally it's daily. So I thought, right, I'm going to go back. Down is pre-workout. Go to the gym. This is at 6 p.m.
You were telling me this before the podcast.
Yeah. I could not sleep. I've not slept a wink all night. I was like rolling from side to side. But the thing is, with pre-workouts, they give you heart palpitations.
Yeah.
So in the middle of the night, I'm like doing all this shit, thinking I'm having a heart attack. But it's not. It's just pre-workout, working overtime. I clearly didn't have a good enough workout. So yeah, my love plum is self-inflicted. Love spud is self-inflicted. Pre-workout drinks, don't do it. Don't do it.
Well, do it, but make sure you work out enough afterwards.
Was it just
or
one
just do it in the morning. Yeah, one scoop.
Just one.
One scoop. But it's high caffeine, man. High caffeine. He'll put you to sleep. This guy, complete opposite. He'll have a monster and fall asleep.
I mean, I'm the same. The energy drinks
Thank you,
and
thank
caffeine
you.
don't have
Honestly,
that effect on me.
caffeine puts me to
I
sleep.
can sit and drink 3 or 4 cups of coffee and not feel any
I
different.
drink like Monster.
I love
and
a
Red
cup of
Bull
tea
shit
and I'm
just for the
screwed.
taste. I'm like, yeah, it will put me to sleep otherwise. I
Yeah.
put down the whole thing. I just drink it just for the taste.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Weird.
Yeah, so there you go. Little spud.
All right,
Pre-workout
thanks.
drinks.
Tom?
So mine's kind of not just today, but kind of just in general. One thing that does generally piss me off is kind of relating to the podcast.
Oh,
How
thanks.
some people
Shit.
yeah, no, get ready. It's the idea that some people have it a lot easier than others. And this is kind of a love spud plum, I guess, because I know a lot of people that have been through so much shit in their lives, you know? They've had so much going on since they were a kid, and it's like a miracle that they're actually still fighting. But then I also know so many people that have had the perfect upbringing. And what really, I guess not even pisses me off, what just hurts is the fact that so many people have had this like perfect childhood where their biggest issue is like their parents arguing over what takeaway to order, you know? It's like that is genuinely the biggest issue that they have. They've never had to worry about, you know, whether there's food in the cupboards. They've never had to worry about money. They've never had to worry about homes. Like I said, I moved around a lot as a kid. You know, I was always flitting from one place to the other. People have lived in the same house their whole lives, and they never realize how lucky they are. Because what did I do to deserve the kind of childhood that I got? And what did they do to deserve the kind of childhood they got? And that's kind of what gets at me sometimes, is like, what did I do to deserve it? You know, out of everything that happened, I was actually born just wrong place, wrong time.
The thing is, you got to remember as well, that wasn't you, and it was not them
And that's
either.
the thing. That's what helps
Yeah.
get me through it, is the fact it's like, here's the plum side of it, where it's like, it actually isn't anybody's fault. It's literally just circumstance, and you can get through it, you know? I think that throughout all of this that has happened, it's helped me to deal with people in a different way. Because if I was blindly trusting everybody because I've never had the opportunity to be lied to, you know, so much shit would be different in my life. And I'm quite resilient and quite, you know, I'm quite good at reading people, kind of like you with your being empath. I'm quite good at kind of understanding people's intentions just from the get-go, because I've had to deal with manipulation and emotional abuse my whole life. And I think without any of that, I wouldn't be here, you know?
Yeah.
Life would be completely different. So there you go. It's my love spud plum.
Splum.
Splum.
Splum. There we go.
Splum.
That does not
Thanks, Tom.
sound that safe for work.
Daniel, sir?
I'm purely in the plum category this week.
Oh, nice. Okay, you're
Yeah.
right.
So we do the charity stuff, not to make a buck, not to do anything, but we try and raise some awareness and some money to help out the blokes that need the help. Last Saturday, we were invited to the Raglan Arms in Rugby for their Christmas market event. First time they've done one. Didn't know what to expect. Got there, set the stall up. Bosh, gazebo was up. We were away. And amazingly, generosity-wise, we raised over 600 quid on Saturday.
What?
Wow.
Even I don't know this.
So the pub themselves organised the entire day. They had a meat raffle. They had Santa's Grotto. But every penny that they raised through the raffle and through the Santa trip and through donations at the pub came to us. We go there every other Thursday for social nights. We got a good relationship with them. But yeah, 600 quid came our way at the weekend. And then following on from that, we've organised a Christmas raffle. And we've had so many donations and people offering prizes, gifts for the raffle. It's just been mind-blowing this week. And then to top it all off, we had a donation from some very good friends of ours. I think they listen to podcasts, so I'll give Mark and Trev a shout out. And that's my stomach rumbling. Tell
I
me
was
I'm
thinking
hungry.
that. Can you put that up on the microphone? Could you
Mark
hear
and
that?
Trev have decided not to send Christmas cards this year and donate it to us instead. So I received a substantial amount of money from them this morning. And Trev's birthday's this month, and he's raising money for us as part of his Facebook fundraising. So
Fantastic.
pure love plums this week for the generosity of the people that know what we do and support us. So
Amazing.
thank you all.
Amazing. That's a nice way to end it.
Yeah, man.
Nice way to end it.
Yeah.
It's good. It's showing it's working.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
Yeah, it's good.
people are supporting.
It's all good. It's all good.
Fantastic, man.
Yeah. So on that note, Tom, thank you for today, mate. Really appreciate you
Yeah,
coming
thanks for coming in.
It's been, and like I say, a different prong to the normal conversations we have around broken relationships and things. So appreciate it, and appreciate you opening up and your honesty about it, because it needs that voice. People need to hear that bit to understand
100%.
the other view.
Yeah, it's not easy either.
No.
It's not easy.
No.
So you should be proud of yourself, man.
Yeah.
It should be.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
But on that
Respect
note,
to you. On that note, it's that time.
see you.
Next.
Wednesday.
No.
No.
I told you before the show.
You told me. You told me.
Oh,
I did.
I thought you had
It's
this
on
all
the cups,
worked out,
remember?
man.
See you next Thursday. You failed. Okay, see you
Back and
next-
forth. Thursday.
There you go.
Yay.
Thursday. Got it.
Wowzers.